Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about why I don't think that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or LDS, or Mormon Church, is a good church. Because some people will say, well, maybe everything it teaches isn't entirely true, but it's a good church, it's a good place to raise families, it's a good organization, it does good things, and so I still support it, I still want to be a member of it. And I want to talk about why I don't think it is a good church. And this is sort of part one in a series of videos. I don't know how long it'll go on, but me basically laying out my case for why I don't think it's a fundamentally good organization. And the first one is that it is populated from the top down by leaders who, assuming they believe the church is true, and, in the case of the top leaders, I don't really want to make a statement on whether or not I think they believe the church is true or not. I don't know. But assuming they do believe the church is true, it's populated from the top down by leaders who believe that any thought, feeling that they have that is completely random might be inspiration for everyone under their jurisdiction, that everyone under their jurisdiction should follow. So that means, in the most extreme case, that if the prophet of the church goes crazy, he might say to do anything, and who knows, when push comes to shove, if he was giving really dangerous advice, how many of the members would realize it was dangerous and wake up and go away, but a substantial portion of the members would just follow it. A substantial portion of the members would, in the extremest of extreme cases, kill themselves if the prophet were to tell them to. And that's really disturbing to me, because it means that however much you want to say, oh, well, the church isn't a cult, the church isn't like these other churches that have led to mass deaths, can't really talk right now, mass deaths or whatever. The truth is, it's only one step away from becoming that. All it takes is the prophet to do something crazy, and it rises to that level all of a sudden. And that's disturbing to me. So that's the extreme case. But you might say, oh, well, that hasn't happened. And you know what? That won't happen because God will never let the prophet lead the church astray. Okay. So you think that. And I could give examples of where prophets have, according to modern prophets that have come afterward, led the church astray in some cases, specifically in the case of Black people not being able to have the priesthood or enter the temple for many generations. But let's say that was the case and the prophet never would. Okay, well, what about the local leaders? They're not supposed to be infallible in the same way. So what happens when a local leader gets inspiration that someone else is sinning, when that person isn't even doing the thing that the local leader thinks they're doing, just because that local leader gets inspiration? Or what happens when people are following a local leader that they think has inspiration for the whole ward? What if that leader goes crazy? What if that leader is susceptible to random thoughts and feelings, maybe not even crazy, but susceptible to random thoughts and feelings at a higher rate than most people, and gets inspiration from who knows where, that the leaders, that the members should do something that isn't helpful? And just as an example, I had a mission president who had the inspiration, I believe, to tell the all the missionaries that they were required, it wasn't negotiable, they were required to get a certain number of baptisms, referrals, and confirmations every, I can't remember if it was every month or every transfer, or every week. But it was a ridiculously high number for most of the areas in the mission. And I actually had a conversation with my zone leader. He asked what I thought about it, and I said, well, I feel like it's something to strive for as an eventual goal. And then my zone leader basically told me, well, I just don't know what I can do to help you build your faith in this, because this is inspired and this is from the mission president. And I was so upset after I hung up with him, after we hung up with each other, that I cried. And I was very upset. And later on, the mission president relaxed his standards and made the standards different per area. And the zone leader, here he was doing what he thought was his best to reinforce what the mission president said. And it was not good. It was not good at all. And missions, I think, are an extreme example of how this thing can happen. But I think it does also happen in wards and stakes, where people get told to do things that just are coming from the inside of someone else's brain. And who knows, how good they are, how right they are. And that's why the whole concept of somebody having authority, which, they don't really make it clear. It depends on the person, I think, how fallible you think the leaders are. But at the end of the day, I really think the leaders are supposed to be treated as infallible, no matter how fallible we say we think they are. And that's just not right. That's just not good. That leads to problems over and over and over again. And I think it's wrong. And so that's the first thing about the church that I think is disturbing. And I don't like it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Please comment below if you have any other thoughts on things about the LDS church that you find disturbing, because I am trying to make a video series here. Also, if you like this video, like it and consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.